Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
So welcome back to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast.
We are back, everyone, after a little break.
And I guess sufficiently energetic because Cheryl didn't tell me to redo the intro. Our goal is to kickstart your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I am Christy Maxfield.
And I am Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore, the lead of our Bioscience Inclusion Initiative with BioSTL.
We're so glad that you're with us, and we're back for an all-new season of great shows, intriguing interviews, and exciting guests.
Always.
It's always about them, not about us.
Yes.
We're making greater impact and growing our listenership, and we are so grateful that BioSTL and CET have both come back. They're our founding sponsors. They have both come back with renewed support for the podcast this year, which is huge.
That is very big.
And we want you to know what they're up to. So whether it's the Square One program that is now currently accepting applications, or the BioSTL Fundamentals program,
yes,
whether it's the online startup toolkit 24/7, you can find out all you need to know about what's going on, or Global STL Initiative out of BioSTL. We want to make sure that you know about them and all of their programming, because they are what make it possible for us to come to you on a regular basis. So the more people who tune into our show, the greater our impact, and we'd like you to help us spread the word. Share our new episodes each week, give a shout out to your favorite guests, invite 5 friends to subscribe to the podcast, reach out to be a season sponsor.
Just 5.
I'm starting small. These are busy people.
Invite all your friends.
Invite all your friends. And you can find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you find your podcast. You can find us at entrepreneuriallythinking.com. And if you're a fan of Gary Vee, you'll know that he has declared that the future is voice. So shout it out.
Shout it out.
Shout it out.
Shout it out.
So what are we doing today?
So I'm going to start with a little bit of background here.
Good. Context.
In May of 1965,
Not that long ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. addressed the Negro American Labor Council, stating, "There must be a better distribution of wealth within this country for all God's children." From then to now, our nation's economic divide continues to widen, which is absolutely troubling. And faster and faster.
In his Nobel Peace Prize address, he asserted, "There is nothing new about poverty. What is new, however, is that we have the resources to get rid of it." I don't think much has changed since that statement.
No, unfortunately.
Yes. When we come back, we're going to learn more about the National Black MBA Association of Metropolitan St. Louis. This organization leads in the creation of educational opportunities and economic growth for African Americans through programming, partnerships, and career opportunities in management. So, stay listening.
Now here's Make It Happen with Keith Sales Pro.
Today, what really drives you? What is it that you would do for free every day of the week, 12 hours of the day? We call that your passion. How do you turn your passion into a paycheck? As you look where you are in life, is it where you want to be? Is it a job going nowhere fast? If you are clocking in every day and hate your job, the people you work with or for, and even hate your paycheck, then you're committing career suicide. When we discover that thing that we love to do every day and truly enjoy it, that's passion. Passion is when your love of the job or duty supersedes a paycheck. Are you pursuing your passion? Today, remember, it can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Follow Keith Sales Pro on Facebook or Twitter at Keith Sales Pro, or visit his website at keithsalespro.com.
It can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
My name is Desiree Adeboye from Cultural Expressions. Thinking entrepreneurially means to me thinking outside the box, thinking about opportunities that could exist and how you can fit into that space.
Joining us today is Carrie Sanders, President, and Desiree Adeboye, the Entrepreneurship Director and Vice President of Recording with the National Black MBA Association of Metro St. Louis. I'm just excited you're both here and that you could make time in your busy schedules, because if that's what you're doing in your spare time, I can only imagine that you're very busy women to begin with. Yes, and it's okay to laugh at my and my not so many jokes, right? Just at my. So Carrie creates and implements marketing strategies. She does risk mitigation and program analysis in the home health market in her free time. And Desiree is the owner of Prime International, business consulting firm, and Cultural Expressions, diversity and cultural training. Cultural Expressions works to create authentic cultural experiences for educators and students, and Desiree is going to tell us all about that. We're going to learn more from both of you. So Carrie, I know you're in the home health market when you're not running the National Black MBA Association, but there's an acronym in your bio that I'm not even going to try and figure out what it is. I'm going to let you explain it to us. So who are you doing this all for?
Yeah, so I work for Lewing's Home Healthcare too.
Okay.
And I'm basically the director of operations. I manage a few programs, our in-home program, our consumer-directed program, and my overall job is to mitigate risk and do everything that no one else wants to do.
Okay. So that's also a perfect candidate to be the president of the National Black MBA, because you know how to make sure stuff gets done.
Exactly.
Right.
Almost sounds like an entrepreneur, because what, you do everything?
Right, you wear every hat.
You wear every hat, right? Yeah.
And I am too an entrepreneur.
Oh,
too.
tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I support several home health care agencies in the St. Louis market, basically mitigating risk, providing them with tools and resources they need to be successful, and helping them to grow their business. So last year, I was able to at least grow them all at least by 15%, which is pretty high, and increase their retention by 40%.
Wow.
So the tools help keep the clients. It's a huge market.
Right.
It is. I was going to say,
yeah,
that's
it's a huge
growing market.
But retention is key.
Yeah.
Relationships, client
Right,
relationships.
because they have choices, right?
It's
I mean,
key.
the people who work there
Yes.
have choices about where to work. The people who choose that facility have places about where they could go.
But you're helping these companies become even more profitable, right?
Exactly.
With the tools.
You're doing that for your current employer, but it sounds like you're also doing that on as part of your own
I
gig.
kind of got a little lost in it because I kind of didn't know what I was going to do. But I just recently opened December 21st.
Okay.
And that was my Christmas gift. That's all I needed was my occupancy permit. Yeah, so they all come together, throughout the week. They share tools and resources. They use my center to do that. And as I work for the agencies that I can speak publicly about, and some that I've agreed contractually not to.
What's the name of your company?
So it's Strategic Home Health.
All right.
There you go. Great.
So, as always, we feature folks who are doing all sorts of entrepreneurial things, because we're always talking to our listeners about being entrepreneurial wherever you are.
Stepping out
of your comfort zone. That could be in a 9-to-5. That could be, in just about any setting. And we do not advocate quitting your job. So we say, listen to these fine folks about how they've built their businesses. No, we cannot. We cannot.
Quit your job.
That kitty is not full.
Right.
It's quite a sacrifice.
But if you need support, you know what? An attaboy, an attagirl, we got you.
We can do that.
We got you, right.
Yeah.
So you're one of your partners in crime in lifting up the community in other ways is Desiree. So Desiree, you own your own company as well. Tell us more about that.
Yeah.
So I have Prime International Consulting, and essentially that pays the bills.
Woo-hoo, we love paying the bills.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I have Cultural Expressions. And so Cultural Expressions is my labor of love.
Okay.
So I visited 30 countries. I did a global MBA. And so when I did this, I've lived in 5 countries.
Wow.
The Netherlands, China, Thailand, Switzerland, and Austria.
Now, those are very different cultures, very different countries. Wow.
Yeah, there was some culture shock there.
I'm sure on both ends.
I was going to say, everybody.
Yeah. I'm Asia famous. I'm in a lot of pictures for being black in Asia.
I love that. Maybe one day we could be Asia famous.
Yeah, they'll be like, who are these two wacky women? Okay.
But just the whole experience just changed my life. For one, to let me know that I could do things that, I had 3 kids when I first did the program. I still have 3 kids.
You didn't sell them or anything.
Right. I Right. I have 3 kids. I had a car note. I had a house note. But it was something that I said, this is what I'm going to do. And then I started putting together little pieces to see if I could really do it. And it wasn't even real to me until I was actually on the plane on my way to the Netherlands.
Wow.
You know, and so that's
all about planning and vision, right?
It's all about vision, planning, and speaking it into existence.
There you go.
Starting on those small pieces on trying to get there. And so that changed my life. The whole program, I met my husband, actually, who's Nigerian. I met him in Thailand at the airport, which is so random. But he was exporting from India to Nigeria, and he happened to be doing a tour of trying to see the lowest costs for his company.
Okay.
And then I met some lifelong friends and really changed my life. And so I am trying to make sure that other people in St. Louis have that experience. I did find that when I traveled, there were tons and tons of, other cultures traveling, but honestly, you didn't see any black people ever. Yeah. To the point where I was in China for a whole semester and I saw 3 black people.
Wow.
And those were my best. Where are you going? Hey, girl, let's have dinner.
And I think that's so unfortunate when you bring that up, because a lot of, just not black people, a lot of Americans do not get out of their sphere. I mean, their city, their state. And I think when you travel, and especially for young kids or just adults, you start to understand other cultures and become very tolerant of other people and other backgrounds. So I applaud you. I mean, and hey, y'all heard this. She met her boo.
We've had people meet business partners in Ubers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And husbands in airports.
There you go.
I like it. We want to be a full service.
I'm gonna try those.
Resource. Yes. Carrie's taking notes, so everybody else better be as well.
Wow.
That's fantastic. So, are you like me? Did you go back to get your MBA after doing the working world for a while, or did you go right after school?
Well, I had actually a whole bunch of stuff happen to me before I did the MBA.
Okay.
So I had kids. I had my house burned down. I was homeless. I was poor. And I'm like, I can't do this. I need an out. So the school was my out. So I was actually I went straight from the bachelor's degree to the MBA. But I used to drive school buses for special ed children. And in between that, I went to school.
Wow.
So where there's a will, there's a way.
That's what I was going to say. When there's a will, when people say, I can't do this because I got all of this stuff going on, you can do whatever is on your mind to do.
And you did your MBA after becoming an MD.
Correct.
So you blow the bell curve there. And then, Carrie, did you go right after? Were you sequential?
No, I didn't go right after. I took maybe a 5-year break. And then I was on this job interview at University of Phoenix. And in the job interview, he was like, well, if you're able to get your MBA right now, would you start? I'm like, sure, I would start. And if it was free, would you take advantage of that opportunity? I'm like, well sure.
Absolutely.
So long story short, I get the job. And 3 days later, I started my MBA. And I'm like, no, I would like to get acclimated to my new role, learn what a restroom is. He's like, no, you said in your interview that you would get
your performance goals now.
That's
right. So I was learning my role at University of Phoenix, and also probably one of the youngest professionals in my MBA class at that time. And it was a phenomenal experience, and I'm proud to say I am a Phoenix.
Woo! Yeah. Wonderful.
Well, talk to us. Everybody here has an MBA.
Right, and I asked sort of the sequence because it's, there's not a right way to do it, right? And that, having that credential also put you into the company of other folks. Now, it expanded your networks, too. Definitely. And then I would imagine being part of the professional association gives you a whole base of resources, friends, colleagues, other folks. So, I think where you were going. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
We share a single brain, but in two separate bodies. Okay? Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting when you look at the track, because when I finished my MBA, I joined the National Black MBA organization just for the reason of the connections and all of that. Why did you guys join the organization? And what have you found valuable as being not just members, but you guys are officers?
Yeah. So I like to say I drank the Kool-Aid. I drink the Kool-Aid over and over. I drank
the alcohol at one of the conferences, because that does go on.
Yeah, and they're really fun. And
it's definitely go up.
It's a big one coming up in Detroit. Check us out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So I drank the Kool-Aid quite a few times, and each year I become even more and more passionate about helping young professionals and seasoned professionals find their way through corporate America and also entrepreneurship. Kind of using those experiences that you learn in corporate America to establish yourself as a sound entrepreneur, while tying in some of those valuable classes like business law and business ethics, that were like totally boring. And then when you get out here in the world of entrepreneurship and contracting and things like that, all those don't do that come right to life, right? Like, hey, I'm like, yeah, you don't enter an agreement without an agreement. All those business, those crazy simulations we had to go over and kind of keep trying to find the answer, go back. Those are real life scenarios,
right.
They really happen.
Right.
Hint, I mean, yeah. Those things really happen. So
Carrie's preaching from experience, I can tell.
I don't know.
So I learned some of the most of my lessons the hard way.
The hard way I've learned, and it made me a successful entrepreneur and also a successful mentor with National Black MBA. I feel like any small business owner with a bottle of wine and a bucket of tissues, I can help them be successful. I can help them not make some of the mistakes that I've made. And even as a professional in the corporate world, I had a long successful run with University of Phoenix, even teaching them that it's okay to take a risk. A risk. Move to Ohio where 11 feet of snow goes. You never know what you might learn there. Right. I met some of my best friends in Ohio. I had some of the best real life world work experiences in Ohio, and it may have been one of the best career moves I've made in corporate America.
So what is the organization, the National Black MBA organization? What do you guys offer? I mean, is it programming? Talk to our listeners about what you actually offer.
We offer, or my goal as the entrepreneurship director is to offer a life change. I want you to be able to envision difference and then give you the steps and the tools to make that happen. And the National Black MBA Association as a whole kind of does that same thing. We're offering scholarships, educational opportunities, professional development, community service. We have a Leaders of Tomorrow program to reach out to the youth. So it's just, a lot of times we'll see that things aren't always fair, or maybe there isn't a space particularly for whoever, but it's about thinking outside of that, creating your own opportunities, creating your own space, and we're here to support you, to develop you, and give you everything that you need to be successful. As far as if you can envision it, we want to help you achieve that.
Okay,
that's great.
So
as soon as we come back, we're going to talk more about what people are envisioning and how they're getting helped.
What can you do to help someone be alive and well?
Every person in your life matters, and what you do is when you ask them, how are you, you really care about the answer.
Yeah.
This society will go up to the person, the people they know, the people they don't know, hey, how are you? And they're not ready to listen to that answer. And so the people who respond to those questions usually say, okay, good, or fine, because they know that someone else is not ready to hear that they're having a terrible day or a wicked mental health month or year. When you are interacting with people around you, get off your phone, look people in the eye, and when they say they're having a bad day, instead of going, I really have to get to that next meeting, sit down, hear them, really hear them. Don't just listen, hear them. Hear their pain, and offer assistance in the form of a hug, a smile, and embrace or all of the above?
You could be their hope simply by having the heart to hear. Everybody should be alive and well. Learn more at aliveandwellstl.com.
My name is Carrie Sanders, and I am the owner of Strategic Home Health Care. And thinking entrepreneurially means to me using all the tools and resources you learn to control your own destiny.
Desiree, one of the themes I hear you and Carrie saying too is that the National Black MBA gives you a way of exploring. You know, you do that literally in your business. You went far and wide, and I hear there's a trip to like Thailand and Bali, and not Thailand, Bali, Tahiti. Anyway, she's going someplace exotic later. My point being that the theme really seems to be about like how do you mitigate risk, whether it's in your day job, right? Or if it's in the exploration of something new. So if I join the National Black MBA, what does that, how is it through those programs and workshops that you found people get what they need?
How is it? I would say people jump in and get involved. You see them taking notes. Mikey was our keynote speaker one year.
Mikey Knows Business?
No, Mikey Knows Business. He was our keynote speaker, and his mother said that was his first speaking engagement, and now he speaks all over the place and charges a lot of money to do so. So support Mikey.
But you gave others inspiration to launch their own.
Right. Started on your stage.
Right. And then we have other opportunities where people might not know about. So getting government contracts, buying businesses, acquiring businesses and franchising, different things like that. Branding yourself on a budget. We had Keisha Mabry come and speak to a group. So really trying to reach all of our entrepreneurs on the different levels or different journeys and experiences that they are, having, and trying to meet them where they're at and give them what they need.
I love the fact that you're focusing on not just young, not in age, but new ventures, people who are starting new ventures, but you're also focusing on those individuals who have existing businesses and helping them out. The other thing I think that gets lost when people think about new ventures is acquiring companies, which I think is something, we're trying to touch on within the BioSTL organization. How do we help those folks understand the opportunities that are out there? So I think that's fabulous.
Another huge focus for us is professional development. So, we have our ears out there to all of our members and finding out what professional development gaps they need to fill. Like, what type of classes do they want to take? What seminars do they want to participate? Hey, what's going on in your business that you want to, or in your industry where you want to get a promotion? What skill sets do you not have to get that promotion? Let us put on some professional development opportunities that will support you in making the next steps in your career. So it's really having those one-off conversations with the members. I'm really trying my best to work the room a little better when we have new people that come out, finding out really, I just really need to know, like, why are you here? Like, what do you need from us so that we can better correlate our programming to give you what you need. So it's not just entrepreneurship. It's not just leaders of tomorrow. It's not just professional development. It's lifestyle. We get together, we mingle, we have cocktails, we have happy hours, we help the community, we adopt families at Christmas time. So we do our best to put together programming for the entire year that touch on every single pillar that the National Black MBA focuses on.
About how many people are in the local chapter?
We probably have about, I would say, throughout the calendar year, 100 active members. Okay. But right now we have 251 members.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That also means that there's a depth of bench there in terms of a mix of new professionals, seasoned professionals, entrepreneurs,
we have some lifetime
corporate
members.
And all of that. So one of the programs I know that you all do is the Entrepreneur Think Tank, and that's coming up here in April. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that is? And I know having your MBA doesn't mean you're going to be an entrepreneur, but it's one of the pathways. And clearly, it's one of the pathways that your local chapter is saying we really want to have resources around. So, tell us more about like who's asking for that, who's going, what are you doing?
And so the Entrepreneur Think Tank is April the 28th this year.
Mark your calendars.
Please do. And we are welcoming, we have added a special track for children ages 8 to 17.
Okay.
And so for them, it's about idea formation, teaching them how to market, really trying to get them to get to that next level of development for them, whether they have their own businesses and they want to figure out how to reach a different audience or what their target market is, or if they know that they want something more and they have the entrepreneurial spirit. So we want to foster that, make sure it grows, and give them the support for it. So our keynote speaker is O.D. Harris, who has several tax offices throughout the country. I believe he has about 7. And then he has his own production company. He is the author. And so he agreed that for the pitch contest, which we'll be having a youth and an adult version at the think tank, he will offer both the youth and the winner from the youth competition and the adult competition mentorship.
Oh, awesome.
So that is what we're offering. And then, as I said, the acquiring businesses, we want to teach people about going global and different ways of funding themselves. We have Anthony Stewart coming in to speak about, part of his journey. He's I think it's polymath, one of them, but he has a lot of things going on. So he has a sauce that he's doing. He has, he's an author.
Wow.
He's a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, he has a lot going on, and he wants to teach people how to get that done too. So we have a wide variety of different topics that we want to cover, and again, we just want to meet people where they are with their journey, or if they just have a thought and they want to make it come into fruition.
And I tell people, even if you don't think you come out and explore entrepreneurship, it might not be for you, but hey, it's a great opportunity to explore and meet other people, meet like-minded people, see what folks are doing. And I love the fact with children, exposing them early on. I think we met a mom who, I don't think it was Mikey, the one that he saw a vending machine. Remember?
Mikey.
Is that Mikey?
That's Mikey.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm trying to get my kid to think entrepreneurially. He thinks about, give me my allowance. That's all I want to do.
Well, clearly he needs to go to the think tank on April 28th.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to bring him. It's just very interesting. He's been involved in entrepreneurship through me, but his thing is, I don't think I want to do that. I want to maybe go into medicine. I'm like, that's fine, but start your own thing, But I think we all need to think differently. And I love the fact that you're offering the opportunity for kids to get exposed to entrepreneurship and very early.
And we often tell folks, not everybody self-identifies as an entrepreneur because that word sometimes just doesn't seem like a good fit. So whether you think you're a small business owner, whether you think you just have a side gig, if you're doing your own hustle, whatever the case may be, this is a place where this gathering is specifically being developed in tracks so that you can find your piece. But also, entrepreneurs need help. Meaning that it's a team sport. And so maybe you're not the entrepreneur lead, but as an MBA, you bring a whole lot of value to that conversation. So if you feel like I might want to get myself involved in something that's a little outside of my comfort zone, but I don't necessarily have the idea that I want to step out in, I would think this would be a good place for those members of the organization also to come out and see where might I be of service?
It is, and we want to make sure that we say that the National Black MBA is not just for MBAs. We wholeheartedly welcome entrepreneurs.
That's
so if you have started your own business, then come out, apply for membership, and join us on our journey.
And then you get to know all the MBAs, and you all need them because you're doing financials and you're pulling your hair out, and you're all and you're asking where is the financial person?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. It's a great connecting, organization. I love the fact that you don't have to have an MBA, but you're still connecting people in, which is great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when they come find you on April 28th, where will you be? Where is this being held?
We will be at T-Rex.
Okay, so we'll be downtown.
Downtown St. Louis.
Yes, on downtown St. Louis on Washington.
911, I think.
Yeah, 911 Washington.
Yep. And so folks can register. Where can they register?
They can register off of our Facebook page.
Which is?
And
how do we find that?
Carrie's going to tell you that.
We're working on our website now.
Okay.
We have an awesome guy that we're looking to meet with now. If there was one thing that the National Black MBA needs, is we need a techie to join us and help us join us on our adventure.
Calling all techies.
But how
help
can
the National Black MBA?
Right. How do I? So if your website's not up right now, can I just show up on the 28th and register at the door?
So there's going to be a registration link.
Awesome.
And you can email Desiree at...
You can email me at...
You all, I love the expressions going back and forth. This is
STLS-Desiree@gmail.com.
There we go.
And I have a National Black MBA one, but it goes straight to my email. That's why I didn't know what it is. But it's STLS-Desiree, DESIREE @gmail.com.
Okay, I'm going to have you move your hands so we can hear that loud and clear.
STLS-Desiree, DESIREE @gmail.com.
Okay.
And I will have information there. It will be on our Facebook page. It will be posted on Eventbrite also.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Good.
So I raised my hand to help out with the event too, so we'll definitely have it in CET. We'll be pushing it out. I know that Cortex Connections will be pushing it out. And pretty much,
Carrie and I have connected. Hopefully we'll be able to do something from the BioSTL perspective there, because I'm so excited about this upcoming event.
Yeah, so if you email Desiree, or you reach out to me or Cheryl, or you stay on CET or BioSTL or Cortex's email, you will be able to find out how to register for this event. I bet you could also stalk them on Facebook.
There you go.
It sounds like they have the Facebook page as well. So,
worst comes to worst, we'll put it in the show notes. Just say that.
okay. And we'll also put it in our show notes, which will be on our website on entrepreneuriallythinking.com.
That is wonderful. So, guys,
we got our bases covered.
Exactly.
Because we're entrepreneurs.
Exactly. We make it happen.
Which means we do it, and then we figure out how to make sure everybody knows we're doing it.
I was just about to say, we're building the plane and flying it at the same time. Okay.
Awesome. So, before we go, any advice? Actually, I'm going to ask each of you separately to share. What's your advice for folks who are thinking they might want to become an entrepreneur?
My advice is to explore, to expose yourself, to get out and start going to events and really to just do it. If you need to, keep your day job, but start putting actions into place.
Yeah, and come to things like the think tank so you can make the plan to leave your day job, and we can mitigate that risk, because I know that Miss Carrie, that's one of the things she has her eye on as well.
So if I had to give my advice, all those wonderful rules, regulations, job descriptions, all those wonderful things you learned in corporate America, take them with you. Take them with you. Legally. All those things you learned, all that knowledge that's stuck in your head that's right. You can't leave behind.
Right.
Take it with you on your entrepreneurial journey, because you're going to need it. All those goofy pieces of paper you had to fill out, and all of these things that had to be outlined clearly, like expectations, job descriptions, all those good things. Take that with you on your small business entrepreneurial journey, because you're going to need them.
Right.
And business ethics and all those classes you learned in your MBA. Take
and
them
if you
with
don't have all of that stuff tucked away, find yourself an MBA.
Yeah, find yourself an MBA.
Join the National Black MBA Association.
And I'll
meet
give
some
you
MBAs,
some tips.
and they can give you some tips on how to keep on the straight and
also,
narrow.
which is kind of cool, when you say, take the experience that you learned from your corporate experience, but also if you do your business right, you could become a vendor to the corporation that you potentially left.
Exactly.
So it's it's a great continuation of your career. It's not the end of a
what
career.
I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So I work for myself, and I work for several agencies. And the first agency I worked for is my very first client.
I
now.
did that too. I love
Yes.
that. That's my favorite way. I've done the quit your job. Not my favorite way.
It was pretty tough, but I'm here. It's 3 years later, and I'm alive, right?
Well, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you guys making time to talk with us.
You.
So, you guys got to reach out to Carrie and to Desiree and find out more about what they're doing personally, because Desiree will help you open up your global eyes, and Carrie's going to make sure that you don't step in any pitfalls or potholes along the way. I feel like you're like the dynamic duo. Like, you will help me see what's possible beyond the ridge, and then you'll make sure that I don't skin my knee as I'm rising above the
all
summit.
the things you need in your toolkit.
I love that.
Use them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies, for joining us. We really appreciate you coming by.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurially thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections, and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #ETHINKSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.